Lesson 3. Nested if statements. This lesson goes into more depth about if statements. Can be used particularly by how if statement can be used particularly by nesting if statements. With nesting, you can make very complex nesting as also nesting mit Verschachtelung. You can make very complex control flow in a program governed by multiple conditional expressions. Keeping track of the branches, indentation, and flow of values through the program becomes more difficult, but also more important. The elif statement is also introduced, which allows developers to make more readable code in some places. However, once again, they must be careful about not making incorrect or redundant structures in their code. The lesson also covers two common mistakes made with if statements: redundant test and unnecessary if statement and Boolean function. Nested if statements. A program is made up of sequence of statements known as body. We sometimes refer to bodies as a block of chunk or chunk of code. With if statement and function definitions, we have ways of putting a smaller body inside of the main global body. But now we will see that we can also put if statements inside of if statements and functions. We call this nesting the bodies inside of each other. As you develop more complex programs, you will do a lot of nesting. The code above has 3 branches. The outer if statement has 2 branches. The inner if statement is on the true path of the outer if and has 2 branches of its own. The else body does not have any further branches. That means there are 3 branches in total. The reason that there are 3 branches is because the first branch is divided into 2 parts. In other words, each new if only adds 1 new branch to the existing number of branches. The following diagram overlays the paths of the branches. Age is assigned 22, cost is assigned 45. If age is bigger than 21, if cost is smaller than 10, print by, else print too expensive, else print too young. Check your understanding, okay? How many branches does this code have? If, conditional, if I would say 3, because every if statement has also if, else, or yeah. Correct, the outer if statement has 2 branches. The outer. So this is not the inner. And then the first branch turns into 2 further branches with the inner if statement. One, two. I don't get the explanation. The outer if statement has 2 branches. Because if else. Okay, but where is the else? And then the first branch turns into 2 further branches with the inner if statement. So it should have 4, not 3. Trace the code below. What is the final value of the salary variable? Salary is assigned 1000. If salary is bigger than 100, taxes 0.5, else taxes 0.1. Salary is assigned taxes multiplied by salary. If salary is bigger than 100, if salary is smaller than 500, taxes 0. Trace the code. What's the final? Okay, salary is 1000. It's bigger than 500, and it's bigger than 100. So the taxes are not going to be 0. So if salary is bigger than 100, so I guess the taxes is 500. No? Damn. Try again. Remember that the second if statement conditional is true. So the body is executed. Remember that the second if statement conditional is true, so the body is executed. So 0? Although the third if statement is false, the salary is smaller than 500. The final statement is after the third if statement, and inside the second if statement. The final statement is after the third if statement. That means it will be executed, causing one more update to the salary variable. 0? No? I just have to pretend that I know something, or that I try to get it, but I don't get it. Salary is assigned 1000. If salary is more than 100, then taxes are 0.5, else taxes are 0.1. Salary equals taxes multiplied by salary. If salary is bigger than 100, if salary is smaller than 500, taxes equals 0. Salary equals taxes. Damn. Correct. The first if statement causes the taxes to become 0.5, which in turn makes the salary 5. Yeah, this was my line of thinking. 500. That causes the second if statement to trigger, but not the third. So what? So the salary is updated one more time to be 250. So that's some huge tax. over there. Okay. Should we go over this, or should we cut it right here? Let's go over this. Number of spaces. 0 if age is greater than 21. 4 if cost is smaller than 10. 8 print by 4. So this is the so-called indentation. Else 8 print too expensive. Else print too young. Every time you nest a block of statements inside another block, the body of the block gets indented another 4 spaces. Note the Python code on the right side of the diagram and the numbers on the left. Each level of nesting increases the number of space characters by 4. These are called the white space rules, and they can be confusing, but they are consistent. The amount of white space controls what code is in what body. If an if statement is nested inside another if statement, how many spaces will the body of the inner if statement have if an if statement is nested? 8 probably. Yeah, correct. The outer if statement has 4 spaces in its body, and the inner if statement has another 4 spaces. That's 8 spaces total. Okay, this was a quick one. Let's go over another. If and functions. You can put if statements inside a function. In fact, this is both common and useful. Remember the white space rules when this occurs. Each nested block is intended another 4 spaces in the following function. Adjust price. The first line of body is intended 4 spaces, but the second line of the body is intended 8 spaces. The first line after the body of the function is not indented. In fact, that's what makes it the first line after the body. It's not indented. From bakery, import assert equal def adjust price float age integer type float. If age is bigger than 60, return price multiplied by 0.8. Else return price. From bakery import. This is a library. Set equal. What goes inside? It can be difficult to know if a line of code belongs inside of or outside of a block. You must think critically about what you are trying to do with the if block. Remember, statements inside the if block are executed only if its conditional evaluates true. In the code shown here, the first assignment of the price variable is after the if statement's body, while the second assignment is inside of the if statement. That means the first assignment will always be executed, but the second assignment may or not be executed depending on the value of cost. Cost is assigned integer input. What is the cost? One line in the body. If cost is bigger than 5, discount is assigned 1. Price is assigned 2. 2 lines in body. If cost is bigger than 5, discount is 1. Price is 3. What happens? I don't know. Don't have a print function. Five. Unused variable. The variable discount was given a value on line 9, but was never used after that. Okay. Elif block. Else plus if. Elif. Equivalent. If dog in name. Print is a dog. If dog in name, print is a dog. Else. Cat in name. Print is a cat. Else, print unknown. Else if. Cat in a name, print is a cat. Else, print unknown. So there's a slight difference in syntax. It saves one line of the code. In addition to the if and else blocks, there is a third type, elif. Elif is exactly the same as an else block with an if statement inside. Although they do not offer any new power, they are sometimes more convenient to write. Okay. Two ifs versus else if. If plus if. If dog in name, print is a dog. If cat in name, print is a cat. Not equivalent. Elif. If dog in name, print is a dog. Elif cat in name, print is a cat. The preceding two pieces of code might look similar, but they are quite different. The first piece of code on the has two if statements, and both if statements will always be equivalent, evaluated, and potentially executed. The second piece of code has an elif statement, and the elif statement will only be evaluated if the if statement evaluates to false. Okay. Which of the following statements is more accurate? The elif statement is equivalent to an else with if statement and inside nested inside. I think this is correct. Every if statement must be followed by either an else or an elif statement. That's not true. You can nest if statements inside of another if statements, but not functions. Correct. The elif is actually to an else if statement, but this is actually how Python interprets it. Richtig. Das elif ist eigentlich eine else if Anweisung und genauso interpretiert Python es auch. Okay.